students writing. And fortunately, I'm on a team where we've seen a lot of writing, so we've been able to put this together. We pretty much know what to expect at the different levels. So that's a level 4. And we'll go on to the report card.
The blue line.
Now, and the blue line demonstrates conventions in original writing. There were, I think, 6 components that'll go into that. And I think one of the first drafts of the report card was listing all those out. And I think different committees said that's really too much information. If I have questions about conventions and original writings, that can be more of a phone call with the teacher.
Any questions on the elementary part of this? Okay, so that's where we are at this point, and I should remind the board that per policy, curriculum needs to be approved by the board. So in June, we would request that the board would approve the revised assessments and the report cards. Okay. All right, decisions to come. As I mentioned, the Curriculum Council is meeting tomorrow. I think I informed the board in January that we identified a need to better articulate when students will be provided further attempts, and so we've drafted this. We've got input from both buildings. The Parent Advisory Committee gave excellent feedback on this, so the council will be considering that tomorrow. And I'm hoping in June, by the June meeting, that it will bring a draft to the board for consideration. I think we're pretty far along with this, and it just takes what we're already doing and makes it more uniform and fair across grade levels and subject areas. So that's that. A big deal coming up is this implementation of the new software, because that has a lot to do with the report card, and the family access is the new term for the parent portal that parents are used to at the middle school. So we're looking at the same availability at the elementary school by Skyward. We're not putting a date on this at this point, because first we need to get the report cards up and running and make sure all that's working well, and then we'll work on what the family access will look like. Grading changes, as I mentioned earlier, we are not starting the year with any changes in grading. So when we bring an example to the board on how we're grading now, it'd be a point system exactly how it's always been traditionally been done, with the exception that the assessments are just better articulated in terms of what the level of questions are. Okay. And as always, when you start implementing things, you make adjustments. And next year, we will certainly be spending time after we use these assessments throughout the year to make some adjustments, both in the assessments and the scales. And it could be in the outcomes as well, because one tends to inform the other. It just gets better aligned as you continue to implement. But we're really in an excellent place, because next year we really don't have like the major kind of curriculum writing on our plate that we've had the last 3 years. It's been really a tremendous amount of work, and like I said, we have this most solid curriculum going into next year that we've ever had. And I just want to commend these teachers here, and on behalf of all our staff and administration, they really should feel proud. And I hope the board is too, that all this work needed the board's support. And I just don't think we could be in a better place than we are right now. Anybody, John or Judy, do you want to add anything? You didn't get a chance to. You made all the trip and got all dressed up, and you haven't had a chance to say anything.
No, I think the only thing you may want to have that conversation about, we talked about now that these are master assessments and you might give them year after year, whether you need a policy in terms of these going home, how do you communicate if the parent can't see the test, how that communication is going to work. So you want to keep that in mind as you think about some of this stuff.
I don't recall getting tests. Usually the tests are given back, right? Is that where you mean like not?
Well, I get mine back now, but if I'm going to repeat these year after year, I won't be able to give them out anymore, because somebody could make a little file and brother get it a year down the line, it's the same test, and you can't do that. So, I mean, alternatives might be to tweak the test or whatever, but it's something to consider.
How long are these assessments gonna last? Like, I mean, is this like, are we gonna revise these every certain number of years? I mean,
We continually revise the curriculum as we go along. Now, these assessments have been developed for the long term,
okay.
but certainly the first year is when revisions will become evident. That the kids actually take it. We learn things about it. Questions may, the balance of questions may need to be adjusted. The alignment with the scales may need to be adjusted. But we're looking at these for the long term.
Are they aligned with the Common Core assessments that are going to be starting in 2 years from now?
Common Core standards?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're not only going to be standards, but it's going to be a whole new test. Every state's going to have the same test. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just wondering, is this like...
Have you seen the Common Core assessments?
I know.
The Common Core standards?
I've been looking at them. I know that they're a little bit different. I talked to a presenter that does trainings, and they said that it's a completely different method than when we do what we do now, like as compared, like on the ISAT. And a lot of teachers are going to need training to get the students to start doing these like assessments differently. It's a different kind of assessment. So I don't know. I'm just wondering if our eye is on that ball as well.
Actually, we're going to be transitioning into that in the next topic. Can I just wait with that?
Sure, sure.
I see Kathy Lawrence are just about to jump out of her seat, so can you wait till
Sure.
transition? Okay.
I've got a
Couldn't
question. I'm sorry. About
Go
the
ahead.
report card, the 8th grade one, I noticed that band's not on there. Maybe this particular sample, the student didn't take band. But is there any discussion about the grading of band? Because it is an elective, it's an optional course. Children are graded on it, but so if someone gets a B, it might throw off their straight A's. I know a child who quit band because she got a B and she, threw off her straight A's and she had to be on the gold honor roll. So, was that just a fluke that this didn't have it, or are we not going to give grades for band?
The grades that have always been given in all the subject areas will continue to be given.
But that's an optional subject. Not everyone's required to take band. That's what I'm wondering. They have a choice, as opposed to, the
Yeah, we're not proposing to change anything in terms of what students currently get grades in now that they will get grades in next year.
Are you looking to get rid of the grade?
Well, I'm just wondering if there's any discussion, or if there has been any discussion, because
There has been in the past. And in the past, what has come up is the fact that they are pulled out of their classes for their lessons. So even though it's an elective, there is part of their curricular day that they are actually out of their...
Out of another
So then we'll have
class.
the outcomes, the assessments, the same. It'll be the same.
Well, yeah,
the
correct.
masteries.
Yeah, and simply because it just gets, we gave prototypes, we didn't include, you'll notice like mod tech and some of the other things were not in
Right.
the prototype.
I saw music was, which that was,
Yeah,
one.
but we have all of them.
Okay.
Including band.
Yeah.
How do we plan on informing the community, parents on that we really aren't changing any assessment at this time, or are we sending out something?
Yes, actually,
registration?
next Friday in the weekly update, I'll be sending a correspondence to parents who have actually already drafted it about these changes, about Skyward, because there's things that they need to know, and then beginning next year, we'll need to be holding some parent informational sessions on the use of Skyward, and certainly at the curriculum night. So the council's been talking about what we need to, and also I've got advisement from the Parent Advisory Committee on communication that we need to get out. So the first round of it will be next Friday. And I'll be working with Beth and Lisa as part of the communication committee to take a look at it.
No. You just
We
made
don't
the
have a
communication committee last one.
Well, I wouldn't say we disbanded it.
It's on
We're gonna
hold.
talk about
We
it.
haven't established the communications committee yet.
So this is still the leftover?
Well, last year we didn't do it till August, so that's when we created a communications.
So anyway,
committee.
that's where what you'll see starting next Friday will be the first go at it, and then there'll be a lot of opportunities. We're going to continue to inform parents of these changes. Yeah, as far as the parents go, the biggest change for them is going to be the report card. That's a big deal for parents, and we're just looking forward to. I think they're going to be very pleased. It's going to be more detailed. It's going to be easier to access on software, and so it should be a very good thing. I don't see any downside to it.
are we going to do trainings for the parents in the fall, like to how to do the report